Hi guys, it's Jude and welcome. Today I have a very exciting video because I am excited, yay. So I have a little pile here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 books that are my favorite books of all time, and I gave a lot of thought to this and I went with like my absolute favorites that I adore because they're my favorites. And the reason why I'm so excited about this, I mean, I'm not sure if I made a video like this a couple of years ago. I think I have like a favorite series video, but I don't think I have like a favorites book in general video. The thing is that I like, you know, I'm like a person, the type of human kind of person, and I grow and I've been a lot on the topic of how I've been changing my reading taste and my reading authors and preferences and whatnot. So like right now in this moment that I am in right now, which is right now, my favorite books are the ones I'm about to mention. So let's get right to it. I also think that your favorite books say a lot about you, so I'm really excited to just share. And I think this one book, the first book that I'm going to show you guys, it's my all-time favorite book of all time. All time. And it is Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. Forbidden is a book that has made quite a lot of buzz around the booktubes fair because it's about incest, and there's not a lot of books that deal with that, and it is a very taboo topic, so of course it was really scandalous when it came out, and then for some reason a couple of years after it came out there was a lot of buzz around it again, and it just, that's when I read it, when it was buzzing around, and I absolutely adored it. It's about incest, as I said, but this book shows you a whole side of the spectrum that you didn't think even existed, and it really shows you what circumstance and context and everything can do to a person, and how you can't judge anybody. I'm so grateful for this book because this book really taught me to not be judgmental, and ever since reading this I've really made a big effort in my life to not judge others because I really can't. I can't judge. Nobody can. You don't know what other people are going through and how their life is, what they've been through, what they're doing, why are they doing things that they do. So you can't judge. You can't. And still some people do, and because of all of that negativity, bad things can happen, and it's one of the things that goes on in this book, and I think it's one of the main issues that it deals with. But the beauty of books in general is that they can be interpreted in many different ways, and that's just the way that I took it, and that's why it's so special to me. It shattered my soul completely, and if any of you guys want to read it, it will probably also shatter your soul completely. I shared this book with my best friend and she didn't feel the connection that I felt, which was sad, but I mean, we're all different. But in general, it's one of those things, it's one of those books that just stays with you, and it will forever stay with me. And I reread it again a couple of years ago, and it was still just as relevant, it hurt just as bad, and it was just as amazing. So I highly recommend it. All my favorite books are linked down below. Next up, what I dare say is my second favorite book of all time. So it's like a big tie between Forbidden and this one, but definitely Forbidden is on top because of years long, and This Is Not a Test by Courtney Summers. This is not a test. It's the story of a girl in the middle of the zombie apocalypse and how she deals with life in such a tough context. I mean, there's zombie apocalypse books, and then there's books that make you question the meaning of life, like this one. This book is all about the meaning of life, but it just so happened to the story just so happened to be in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, because honestly, it's not a zombie book. If you're hoping for guts and blood and adventures and blah, that's not that type of book. It's a book that talks about what it means to be alive, what life is about, what it means to be alive, why do we live, why is it worth living, and the meaning of life in the most literal sense of the word. It's about the meaning of life. The whole novel is just a big build-up for that very last page. The last page, it's not worth it if you go and read the last page. You're not gonna get the big impact because it's a whole build-up. It's amazingly done. When I read the last line, it just hit me. It hit me and I was like, fuck. It was incredible and mind-blowing, and Courtney Summers is one of the best authors out there, and she writes really dark contemporary books. Usually, this is not the exception. It's a really dark book that just so happens to be in the middle of the apocalypse. It's a beautiful book, and I recommend it so bad to everyone because it's so good. So good. Next up, I have my third favorite book, which is Wake by Abria and Mattina. Wake is a story about a boy that had cancer and is dealing with all the chemotherapy and the aftermath and all of that, and he's trying to live life, and that's about it. And it's so great. And he meets a girl named Willa, and Willa is so snarky and sarcastic, and he is snarky and sarcastic. They are both really snarky and sarcastic, and the dynamics in this book are great, and it's really big. But every single person that I have recommended this book to loves it, so I highly recommend it. Oh my god, this book is so great. It's so fun, so beautiful, so everything. It's a really great book that I'm just so excited about. It doesn't leave you like all shattered inside. It's just such a good book because the previous two are kind of like on the sad side of things and darkish side of things, but this one is just so great. And just so you know, these are my top 3 favorite books. The rest of the books that I mentioned are all just equally favorites, but these ones are like top 3. Top 3. Yay. Next up, a book that has been one of my favorites for so long, and it is Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite authors. She writes great contemporary sweet books, but this one stayed with me. I don't know, I really like the whole metaphors. Sarah Dessen is all about them metaphors, and I love the ones in this book, and I thought it was so sweet, and I read it almost every year on summertime. I just think it's a really sweet book about summer. It has romance, and then it's all about finding yourself and self-discovery and all that, and I really enjoyed it a lot, and I still do. So, one of my favorites of all time. It's a great book. It's just a great fun book. Next up, Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler, which is a story about a breakup, and that's about it. It has illustrations in it. That's part of the thing that made this book so good, the illustrations. Most books are not illustrated, at least adult book, well, young adult mature books. Illustrations are usually saved for middle grade books, but in this one it works so well. The writing style is freaking gorgeous. The book is beautiful, but it is such a great story. You don't usually read about books that talk about breakups, and this does in a beautiful, magical way, and it's great, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and you should read it. Everyone of every age can read this and will relate to it because we will all sooner or later go through breakups, or we can look back on them, and it's great. It's great. Next up, I have Fishes by V.E. Schwab, which is a vicious book. It's so good. It is such a good book about a villain, anti-hero kind of thing. Deals with what it means to be good and what it means to be bad, and that we're all not just all bad or all good, that we're all people, that we're really flawed, that we have good and bad both. And it's just so fantastically well written, and the characters are amazing, and I can't say enough good things about it, but it's one of my all-time favorites, and I cannot wait to reread it again in like a year or so when I don't remember all the details and my mind can be surprised again, because it will be great. And my last favorite book is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I cannot wait to reread this book in like 3 years. I'm gonna give it more time so that I can forget a little bit about it and all the magicalness about it, and I can experience it all over again, because this book was so magical, and the writing style was so whimsical, and it was such an experience. No book has ever given me the same reading experience that I received from this book. It was everything, and it was like a good chocolate that you're just enjoying it so much and you don't want it to end, and it's everything. It's everything. So those were my favorite books, and I will link to them down on Goodreads to the reviews of the ones that I have and whatnot, so you can check it out and see what I think about them if you would like to know more. And yes, overall these are the books that right now are my top favorite. Some of them have been favorites of mine for a long time, and it's just, It's great. That these are my favorites does not mean that many other books are not just as great and good and important, but I think that right now these like the toppy top. I could have made this video like 40 minutes long just talking to you about all the books that I really enjoy and like, but I tried to narrow it down as much as possible, and these ones are my current, and they are all so great. I love all of them so much. A lot of them are really different from each other. As you saw, some of them are like paranormal and fantasy and contemporary and dark contemporary, because I like many genres, and each of these are just so spectacular and excellent quality of writing style and everything, and they just stand out so much. So these are my favorite books, and I also have a favorites shelf on Goodreads where I don't have all of these books actually in there, because you know Goodreads lets you shelf like your favorite books, and I looked through it really quickly and I was like, oh my god, I didn't remember about that book or this one, or I need to take this one out. But I thought I would make a video about it, just going through my favorites shelf on Goodreads and seeing what was there and why I had liked it and talked to you about it. So I will be making that video, and yeah, I will post it later on. But these are the general favorites currently in my head, and later on I will go through the ones that were on Goodreads and see what has changed and whatnot. So I'm excited for that video. And yes, that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Oh, do let me know in the comment section what are some of your favorite books, if you've read any of these, if you like them, if not, or I really suggest you check them out, because they're great. According to me, of course, because I like them. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!